over to YouTube. Hello, everyone. Let me clean my screen because I do this every single time. Okay, you guys on Instagram, what are you doing on here? Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and join me on my Untangled episode. Love you. Hi, everyone. Oh, hello. I'm going to keep my little hat on because it's chilly. It's chilly right now. I don't want to turn the heater on. Welcome to Untangled. We are on episode 111. If you love those numbers, then this episode may be for you. It's Christmas Eve. I almost didn't go live. I just wanted to take care of me. And I heard Jesus say, what are you doing? This isn't about you. And I said, excuse me, but don't I need to take care of me? And he said, you need to take care of people. Didn't you want to serve in a different way in 2025? I said, I absolutely did want to serve in a different way in 2025. Why are you not listening to me right now? So Jesus and I had a back and forth for about 30 minutes at my house. I kid you not, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I wanted to go to yoga and sweat. I wanted to go sit at a church and just be with his energy. I just wanted to take care of me. Nope. No. Loud and clear. I got that. I even have my yoga top on. That's like how much of a struggle I was. This is important. We need this. We need this. There's going to be some people watching me that have never seen me before. Like, how come? Why? She's not very professional. It's a program. We don't need to be professional. We just get to be us. We just get to be us. Yeah, so Jesus was like, listen, little lady. He calls me sister. He says, listen, sister, you remember that conversation we had back in, I don't know, Wednesday morning? I said, I do remember that conversation. Yeah. He's like, what did you say? And I said, well, I wanted to commit deeper to being of service to God and to being of service to you. I wanted to be of service in a outside of myself. I wanted to expand in my service to the world, to humanity, and I didn't want it to be about me. And he said, exactly. What are you doing right now, Lori? And I said, oh, I'm making it about me. But it's important, right? He says, is it? It is important to put you first. Absolutely, at times. But if you commit, Lori, the way you wanted to commit, then get your little booty to your Starbucks to get your coffee and then get on home. And I said, well, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. And he says, you'll know. You will know. So here we are. Untangled, episode 111. It feels like it's been longer than that for some reason. And if you're unfamiliar with my series, I do it on Tuesdays, 9 a.m. Last Tuesday, I was sick. I had food poisoning. To be honest, I've been sick for 2 months back and forth with all kinds of different stuff, which I would love to talk about. We'll see if this is what wants to come through today. I had one of the most, if not the craziest experience of my life on Wednesday night, right after I committed to a deeper service to God. And I will share about it at some point, just not quite ready to share about it yet. Want to make sure that it's integrated fully and that I share it with the highest intentions. But I'm really happy to be here with you guys on Christmas Eve if you're here live. If you celebrate the holiday season, great. If you don't celebrate the holiday season, great as well. I really wish I had my water. I was so rushed today because I was arguing with Jesus about doing the live class, the live what is this series? But here we are. Here we are. Here I am again on my own, going down the only road I've. We're not alone, actually. So that's actually a good topic we can start talking about. First of all, before I begin and share for about 45 minutes with all of you, um, how are you guys? How's everyone doing here? Where are you in the world? I would love to just tap into your energy and just tap into who's here. A lot of times I just get going and I start talking. But how are you guys? Love the lion pic behind you. Merry Christmas. Hi, Debbie. It's good to have you here. Merry Christmas from Sweden. Hi, Sweden. I started drinking coffee again. Oh, Yoga Joga, you know that I'm a big coffee fan. Hi, Laura from the Bay Area. Paula, I'm feeling erratic. Ooh, Silicon Valley. Meredith, hi, Lori. Struggling with self-attack. Oh, yeah. So much to share about that. Merry Christmas from Norway. Um, Naples, Bog Island, Holland, Pennsylvania. Well, of course, as always, it's such an honor and blessing to be with you guys. Um, I'm cold, feeling anxious to move locations, feeling peaceful in the moment. Yay. Devin in the UK. Hi, Devin. Guadalajara, Australia, 3 a.m. Couldn't sleep. Oh my gosh, I know that feeling. Um, I'm breaking down from holiday expectations. The holiday season is always so interesting. It just always fascinates me. And one of the reasons the holiday season is so intriguing to me is God bless humanity. I love humanity, but it's a very interesting way in which we are because we're very, very programmed. And what happens when you start watching just the programming of humans, your heart opens. Hopefully, your heart starts to open instead of, get volatile and angry. We tend to go through these steps in our awakening, in our evolution, and one of the really fun steps is awakening into all of the lies and the things that you've been told and realizing that you've been in these programmed states. One of the programmed states is that you buy a lot of gifts at Christmas. That's what the holiday season is all about, is you go and buy gifts. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a programmed state because I'm not exactly sure that that's what this season is all about. It may be giving, but maybe not going to the mall and buying thousands of dollars worth of gifts that you can't really afford because your kids want it or your family expects it, right? So that's a real program state. It's a beautiful state. It's a beautiful experience. It's beautiful. So there's a dichotomy on this planet. There's a polarity always on the planet. You will always find polarity. It's and to fight against polarity is to fight against what we're in. So polarity is that there are two sides to something always, and there's always gray in the middle, right? And so if we just take the holiday season, right, there's this idea that you need to spend and buy gifts and do all these things, and there's an expectation from the age of, like, 1 years old. Santa's coming. Or have we been a good kid? Blah blah blah. And then when you flip the coin, and it's really just being of service, gifting people with your presence, with their presence, literally presence, the presence of you, the presence of them, and not. Thank you, Martin, my number one super fan. I appreciate you so much. Um, One day when I'm on a stage talking to 40,000 people, Martin's going to be in there, and I'll bring him up on stage and say, back in the day, Martin would show up and give me my super chats every YouTube series, every YouTube episode. Um, Anyway, that's a side note. Yeah, so there's always polarity, right? And so what we tend to do when we are waking up is, so the polarity would be good, bad, right, wrong, yes, no, that's positive, that's negative. And people are always going to have the ability to see one side or the other. So think about this for a moment. Polarity exists. No, it's really great to give gifts and spend all this money. No, it's not. It's not about that. Both exist. Welcome to the human collective, and welcome also to what creates a huge amount of strife and divide between people and their families and friends and loved ones. is polarity. And so one of the things that I've practiced for many, many years, way before COVID started, but what I've practiced for most of my life is this notion that um, when you recognize that there's polarity on the planet, and you recognize that everyone is going to have an opinion or a belief, and that your opinion and belief gets to be there, and so too does theirs, and you don't have to agree. And it's it when you are placed in situations like holiday seasons where you have to be with family, perhaps, or you get to be with family and you don't necessarily want to, or it's very difficult for you, you struggle with it. you know your aunt or your uncle or your grandma or your sister or your brother or your dad or your mom, they always seem to antagonize you, or they always seem to talk about the same things, or they get really drunk, or God knows what happens, and it triggers you. um One of the greatest things that I've ever practiced is understanding humility and confidence in what is my truth and not needing to share it. And it's really been, to me, one of the greatest hacks on this planet of polarity, because the idea that we have to argue with people in order to be able to have our opinion is not true. So your opinion will be there whether somebody else agrees with it or not. And your opinion doesn't change necessarily because somebody agrees with you or not, and vice versa. But we've been living in a world, a very programmed world, that tells you that it's extremely important that you stand up for what you believe in. And there are definitely times for that, 100%. But perhaps not when you're sitting at a dinner table with your family and Aunt Sue is talking about something that you don't believe in at all, and inside of you, you just wanna scream. You're crawling out of your skin because all you wanna do is prove her wrong, tell her how she's wrong, right? Argue with her, or somebody else, and this is not just during the holiday season when you're with family, this is all the time. And what I always tend to do, and it's gotten easier and easier throughout the years of practice, is that in that moment, I recognize what my body is feeling. I recognize what I want to say. I recognize how irritated I may get or frustrated, and I stop myself. And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. But I do my best to stop myself, because, and again, this there's gray area, right? There are many, many, many experiences and moments where you will definitely need to use the voice that you have in order to express yourself. That's not what I'm speaking about right now. I'm speaking about the moments where it's just a conversation of somebody sharing their opinion, and it's just a conversation. And the idea that we have to argue to prove our point in these moments is the greatest practice that you'll ever get, because you're practicing how to allow for duality, polarity. You're practicing how to be on a planet that is not going to agree with you. You're practicing how to find peace in chaos. You're practicing how to find calm in opposites. So this isn't about trying, we have this idea that we will feel calm and peaceful when we're around people that agree with us, when we're around like-minded people. Now I'll be in peace. Now I'll be in calm. If I move to certain places, if we have to set the external environment up perfectly in order to find that peace and that calm and the comfortableness. And the problem with that is that there's always going to be polarity. There will be polarity for a very long time, a very, very, very long time. And so you're not here to try to figure out how to change the external world per se, not in your day-to-day life. I mean, some of you may be massive activists, and that's your deep, deep desire and role, but I'm talking about just the everyday, you know, human that's just going about their life. You want to pay attention to how you are feeling as if you have to change the external world in order to find peace and calm. And if you are gifted with an opportunity to feel that massive polarity or duality, which is what gets to be happening during the holiday seasons when we are around family, you get to practice learning how to be with that doesn't agree with you. And that's the greatest practice, because now you get to sit with, wow, all I want to do is scream at this person, or all I want to do is tell them how wrong they are. All I want to do is tell them how that's not true. And it feels good when we do that. It's almost like if I don't do it, I'm going to feel horrible inside. I've got to do it, right? We know what that feels like. And so I encourage you, if you're one of those, because I still experience that. It's part of being human. We're this is what we feel. We'll sit with somebody and they'll start telling us things that they believe, and if it's really triggering to you, my god, it takes almost nothing to come out the gates. It takes a lot to just sit and listen. Um, and so I encourage you to just play around with what would happen if I didn't say anything? Like, if I just let them have their opinion, what would happen? Does that mean that my opinion is less truthful to me? Do I have to share it with them? Is that absolutely necessary in order for me to still have my opinion and belief? Why do I need to argue with them? Why do I need to open my voice and speak it? Oh, I've got to speak my truth. Do you? Do you really need to speak your truth? What happens if you don't? Aunt Sue gets up, she gets her pumpkin pie, and life moves on. What happens if you did argue? What does it feel like in your body when you argue? Again, I'm not saying there isn't a time and a place for speaking up, but I think deep down we will eventually begin to know more and more, whether it actually is effective and whether this is actually how we want to be in life. Because this evolution in human consciousness that we're in, there are ways in which this world is going to change. And one of the biggest, greatest ways in which this world will change is that we stop trying to change people. We just stop trying to change people. And we stop arguing with people we don't understand, that don't believe us, that aren't on the same side as us. And it's baby steps, because to me, I mean, there's so many intricate, delicate, insanely, like, what in the heck experiences on the planet being human. It's insane. Um, I mean, the amount of diversity that we have to try to all get along on a planet, with 7 billion humans with way differing opinions and beliefs. And we have to figure out how to navigate that. But I can promise you that if there is anxiousness, if there is stress, if there is tightness in the body when you're around family, one of the reasons that may be so is because of the distinct differences that you all hold around a lot of different things. The way people live, the choices they make, the food they eat, the fact that they drink, maybe they have an addiction, whatever it is. And it triggers us. Our families are the greatest gifts because they trigger us. And triggers are the greatest gifts because they are gifting you an opportunity to do things very differently. Very differently. And so when I am gifted with really difficult, challenging moments around conversations that are triggering, um, I've been practicing more and more, not saying anything, letting them have just let them have it, and watch how it dissolves. And really asking myself, does it matter if I say something? At the end of the day, does it matter that I say something? And that's one of the many ways that we can begin to create peace and calm within ourselves in the midst of chaos, in the midst of polarity, in the midst of people not agreeing with us. It's this has been going on for quite some time, and it's going to get more and more intense, but it's just a really important concept to kind of just put in your back pocket. It resonates with you, great. If it doesn't resonate, great. It doesn't need to, right? And this is not about being bypassing your truth or bypassing uncomfortableness. In fact, I would say the most uncomfortable place you could be is not opening your mouth. Try that. Let me know how it is. So this isn't about bypassing. This isn't about, um, you know, um, this is about, this isn't about positive love and light. This is about really standing in the midst of difference and doing it differently. It's very uncomfortable. It's very easy to argue. In fact, it's a knee-jerk reaction, so, just and this is not just for the holiday seasons, this is for life in general. Just hear my voice when you're about to open your mouth to argue with someone and just say, "Is it really that important?" And you're gonna be like, "Shut up, Lori. Yes, it is. 100% it is that important. I am a billion percent going to argue this." And then you just have the awareness that you're arguing and you smile or chuckle or laugh or you cry and you break down or you walk away so upset or you walk away so proud of yourself. However it is, you just have that awareness, you know? You're aware of um, what it is that you are experiencing. Awareness is the number one tool in navigating this. Um, So that was a little piece I wanted to share with all of you as you head out today and tomorrow and the next day and actually the whole rest of your life going out into the world with people and embracing that. Just watch. Just watch. Um, so I love it when somebody starts I love it. It's very easy around my friends and around strangers. It's much more difficult around family. Man, oh man. Thank you, Danica, for that. Um, so I'd love to share a little bit about I'd love to give you guys a little I want to be sensitive around some of the things that have been happening with me the last 2 months because um, I want to be really cautious with fear, playing with fear, and the mind. Because the mind is a real tricky little mechanism. And when you share information, because our minds are so sensitive right now in a way, and what I mean by that is that you can almost imagine the mind as being beat down in a way, um, almost like abused, sort of, right? The mind has just been taken over. And it's been controlled by outside forces and by systems and by, thank you, Karen, for that super chat. I really appreciate it. The mind has been in a state of control from outside forces most of our lives, probably all of our lives, for thousands of years, right? And becoming conscious and waking up is a great opportunity to begin to recognize how the mind works And then you start to become extremely humbled by how controlled the mind is, not by you, not by you. And so when I share things, lately I have been very, very careful what I share because of how sensitive and vulnerable human minds are right now. They're more susceptible to anything than ever before, because they're exhausted. The mind's exhausted. Um, but the problem with the mind being exhausted and the mind being somewhat out of control, meaning that it is, um, you may be feeling this too, right? Where it's like you're feeling less and less in control of thought. That thought is just taking over. Um, it's almost scary in a sense because you're like, man, I don't even know where these thoughts are coming from. Why am I having these thoughts? Why are these thoughts getting so heavy and so intense? It feels like, something else is coming in. It feels like it's these entities. It feels like it's not me. How many of you have felt that lately? Man, this doesn't feel like me. This doesn't feel like me. This is what's happening on the planet at a level and a scale that we are going to be blown away by. And so, coming back to what I was initially saying, what I've experienced the last 2 months is probably some of the scariest stuff I've ever experienced on this planet, and I've experienced a lot of things. I've gone all over the dimensions. I've experienced reptilian energies. I've experienced dark, kind of grayish being energies. I've experienced, dark spirits. I've experienced all kinds of stuff. I'm very in tune with that kind of energies, and I know how to read energies. If I close my eyes and there's a dark energy that comes in, I know how to do all this. But there's some things happening on the planet that are 10 times more evil than any reptilian energy. And I want to tiptoe around how I talk about this and share this going forward because I don't want to create any sort of, or I don't want to feed any mind chatter that's in the human mind right now. So I'm really trying to figure out how to do this. Because fortunately or unfortunately, the human minds are being really taken over right now. And I want to share that with you because your thoughts are not you. And I'm not just talking about the regular thoughts you have, okay? The thoughts you've had for the last 30, 40, 50 years, okay? When you start to awaken, you realize, okay, these are thoughts. Thoughts aren't me, blah, 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 right? And that's kindergarten level of understanding because what's happening now on this planet is that your mind is being taken over. Um, a lot of people's minds are being taken over. Um, and we don't realize it. We can't see it. Thank you, Paula, and thank you, Steph, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Um, and because we're dealing with the mind, like when I share things and talk, it's going to go through the mind is your mind's going to take it, and it's a very, very, very sensitive time right now with that because and that's why I'm always saying to you guys, be very, very discerning over what information you take in. Um, because there is a type of infiltration that's happening that's on a level we've never experienced before. And it's very, you want to be um, really acutely aware of it. So, one of the ways that you can navigate what I'm slowly starting to tap into or share with you guys is how you feel. I've been saying this for about a year and a half and I didn't know why I was saying this, but I've been saying this over and over and over again, and everybody is probably sick and tired of me saying this, but it's because I really believe that this may be one of the greatest ways that we are going to start to help ourselves get through what's coming in the next 4 to 5 years. You have to be able to feel, not emotionally feel, okay? You have to be able to start feeling how you feel in situations, in your house, in your bedroom, in someone else's house. You have to start to feel what it feels like when you turn on YouTube and when you turn off YouTube. I mean, this is like people probably hear me say this and they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, whatever. Like I'm going to feel into it. I'm going to discern and like that's my truth and that's not my truth." No, no, no. I'm talking about a level of discernment that is so sensitive that you can start to understand, wait a second, this is not mine. This is not me. This is not me. This is not me. Because what's going to start happening, and it may already be happening to you, it happened to me almost this entire year, is that the thoughts that are being fed off of darker energies, okay, however you want to see it, your thoughts are being fed and they become obsessive and they get to this level where it's like, where is this coming from? What is happening here? Why am I more depressed than I ever have? Why am I thinking about these things when I've never thought about them like this before? Why are my addictions getting worse? What's happening? And we could say on one level, oh, it's the evolution and human consciousness and the energies are intense. And we can on one level, sure, that's true. Thank you, Mike, for that super chat. On one level, it's very true. Okay, that is true. Yes, there's our energies and the solar flares and all kinds of stuff. Yes, yes. And also, there is some intense stuff happening in your mind, okay, and in your body that is not you, and that you don't really know is happening. And so, the more that, how do you work through this, and how do you navigate this? You've got to get even more clear and sensitive to discerning energies. Does that make sense to you guys? You have to be able to feel, and again, this is not emotion. This is like, how do I feel in the room I'm in right now? How do I feel around this person? And we don't make it about the other person, okay? Like this person is a good person, this person's bad. This person has negative energy. This person is like, we're not doing that. What we're doing is we are just reading every moment of our lives as much as possible, because what we're doing right now is we're beating ourselves up. We're saying there's something wrong with me. I'm not doing it right. I shouldn't have these thoughts. How do I get rid of this? I did this for, I would say, since February. Been, it's been getting worse and worse, but it is except when I'm in Kenya. I don't have any of these experiences when I'm in Kenya, which is really interesting. But it is a combination of the body feeling as if it's poisoned. Okay, the body feels as if there's something not right in it. Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember. If you're my Patreon, you definitely remember, but I felt like I needed to cleanse my body. I needed to do water fasts. I was like, something's not right in my body. Like, and it kept getting worse. And I was like, maybe it's 5G, maybe it's this, maybe it's, I was looking at all these external things. Um and then the thoughts. I was like, maybe somebody put a spell on me. Maybe I knew it wasn't me. I knew what was happening wasn't me. I knew it wasn't, because I know what it feels like to be me. I know what it feels like to be in my body. I know what it feels like to be in my mind. I know my mind very well. Thank you, Devender, so much. I know what Lori feels like. Okay, and I know what Lori feels like when she gets sick. I know what Lori feels like when she has her obsessive thoughts. What's happening on the planet right now is on a level that isn't even close to how we used to be a year ago, 2 years ago. It's on a different level right now for a lot of us. And we're going to start to see this more and more and more. And people aren't going to understand it. They're going to think it's them. They're going to think there's something wrong with them. And so I kept getting more and more sick. Literally, physically, these past 2 months, I was and I was trying to figure it out. Is it the energy? Yeah, it's the energy, but there's something else here. You know, is it, uh is it 5G? Yeah, it's kind of 5G, but there's something else here. Is it poison? Yeah, it's the poisons, but it's something I kept knowing and feeling intuitively it was something else. It wasn't all of the things that we are told. And my body told me, "Stop taking these supplements, stop taking all this, it doesn't matter." And I was like, "It has to matter because 'cause doesn't it help?" My body kept saying, "No." And I'm like, "I don't understand. What do you mean, no? This helps this and this helps that." And intuitively, my body was telling me, "Don't take these things." And so I was like, "All right." For the last 2 months, I mean, if you were in my Patreon, if you're in my Patreon, you saw me. I was exhausted. It was I was sick. There was I can't even. My mind, the thoughts that went through my mind that were so intense, I was like, I'm just gonna give up in terms of trying to, stop the mind. And I wanna preface something because there is this deep, deep program in the world of teachers on this planet where and God bless the programming, but if you're a teacher and people see you, they listen to you, um, God forbid you should talk about your own struggles. And I get that because there is a program where on the planet of if you are a teacher and you know things and you're teaching these things, then you need to hold yourself at a level of professionalism, so to speak, where people will trust you, they'll listen to you, they'll believe you. The problem with that is I've never been like that. And that all to me, all that does is create this feeling of the teacher being at a level that I'm not at, and I need to get to this level. So there must be something wrong with me. I need to get here because this is where they are and this is what they're teaching. So how do I get here? And these hearers are still struggling. They just don't share it with you. They still have the same experiences that you have. They just don't share it with you. How do I know this? Because I'm a teacher and I'm human. And we have these experiences a lot. How do I know that? Because we're all on a planet that's shifting. A massive evolutionary shift is happening that you can't get out of. So we're all experiencing it. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to share what is actually happening within us right now because it seems crazy because we've never been here. We like to keep our stuff together. We like to seem like we have it all together, but it's going to be a wild ride the next 4 and 5, 10 years. And so I've been sitting with this well, again, since February, but it's gotten really bad the last couple of months. And I know that whatever I go through, I will share. However it pans out, I don't care because I know that I'm here to walk humanity through this evolution in consciousness. And I know that it's not going to look pretty. And I know that I'm going to be shown a lot of things so that I can help humanity when they can't see those things. And so I will go head first, dive deep in, and show up messy so that humanity will realize that their messiness is okay, that there is nothing wrong with your messiness at all. In fact, I think your messiness is the most courageous act of being human. And I would like nothing more than to break down these programs that we can't show up as teachers in mess because that's the only thing that's constant is an absolute messy change all the time. Um, and so I was gifted a really crazy experience on Wednesday night that I won't share quite yet. But what I will share with you is that the more that I am feeling into everything I'm feeling, all the aches and the pains, the what's wrong with my body. Actually, I never said that. I always knew my body was doing the best it could. I always knew my body was in a state of healing. I always listened. I listened. When people were like, "Take this and take that and take this and take that," I just asked my body, do you want this?" And I would I would have an intuitive hit. Nope. Okay, I'm not taking that. And I rarely take anything when I'm sick because my body says no. And what I went through had nothing. What I will share this. Sorry, you guys. I'm being really encryptive because I just want to be sensitive to how I when I share this and how. But I will share this. Um, I have never felt as clean in my body and in my mind in my life as I do right now. To tell you that those thoughts are gone would be an those heavy thoughts that I had that were building up for a year are gone. I'm telling you, they're gone. My body is back to how it used to feel 2 years ago, year and a half ago, before it started to experience what it was experiencing. And it happened literally overnight. And it's a miracle, to say the least. It is a miracle what has happened. And how can I be so bold and have so much faith and belief in this? Because I live my life simply through the lens of energy. And what that means is that I feel energy all day, every day, with everything. And if my body has a little bit of something off, I will feel it. If my mind is doing a little something cuckoo, I will feel it. I've been practicing and being like this for years. Thank you, Michelle, for that super chat. I appreciate it. So, for me to be able to say to you that my body is completely clean and clear from every heaviness that I was feeling for at least real heaviness 6 months, it's an absolute. I can't explain it. It's like, again, if you guys were with me in my Patreon community, I kept feeling like I needed a cleansing. I needed a hose to go into my body. Something was in my body and I needed it to get out. And so it came out Wednesday night. Um, came out. Um, my body and mind are clear. And I'll tell you what happened on Wednesday morning right before the miracle that happened. So I've been committing deeper and deeper to my work. Um, I've been committing deeper and deeper to being of service to humanity and not myself. And on Wednesday morning before this huge thing happened, which I'll share with you guys, it's promise, promise, promise. Um, I um I was sitting Wednesday morning praying, and because I can feel the intensity of the planet right now. I can feel that we are heading into a really we are in it, but we are heading into a time on the planet, a physical shift that is so incredible. You're going to have so many miracles in your life. You're going to I got goosebumps just saying it. Like, you're going to feel more incredible than you ever have. You are going to come out of some really heavy times and some really dark times. I promise you, it's what's happening for humanity. And you don't have to vibe yourself into it. You don't have to step into some 5D and study it. It's your birthright, my friend. It's your birthright just by being a freaking human. You don't have to take all these courses and spend thousands of dollars on this and that. It's all, no, you just have to trust and believe in something that is bigger than you right now, which is also you, but the little you that's trying to control everything and trying to get through it and figure it out needs to surrender on a level that is whew, it's on a next level. Anywho, on Wednesday morning, I was sitting there and I was talking to God Whatever you think God is, let that be yours, okay? And I was experiencing my expression of God in front of me, and Jesus was in front of me. And fortunately or unfortunately, when you talk about Jesus, people get really sensitive because of the deep, deep brainwashing and programming that is around this man's name. Um, and so it's unfortunate, but it's also going to play the role, and it's gonna do what it's gonna do. But I was talking to these two energies, and I said to them, I said, I understood. I've been humbled on a level that I've never been before the past couple of months. Really, really deeply humbled. And I said, all I want to do is serve with with your uh from your perspective and lens, not from Lori's. So I was like, I want to put you first, not Lori. Now, what that means, because a lot of people might get triggered by this. What I mean when I say that is that there is a Lori that has a persona. She has trauma. She has a really incredible ego that's awesome, but it also can get in the way. She has limiting beliefs that she believes. Okay, so this Lori Ladd character um, can get in the way of her highest potential and outcome of service to humanity if she tries to control it. And I'm aware of that. Some people are going to say, you're crazy. You're talking about yourself in the third person. It's like, well, I have to be aware of the fact that that I do think I'm in control and that I know what's best. And what I've experienced, especially since Wednesday night, there is no way I will ever go back to that. I will now place my focus on God. And I will ask from this point forward, what is of the highest service from the lens of God? And I will do that. For instance, I didn't want to show up today. Little Jesus came in and said, yes, you are. Didn't you say you wanted to serve from this different perspective, not from Lori? I said, yeah. Okay, well, then here it is. Here's your opportunity. And I was fighting it because little Lori, who always wants to have her way, she knows what's best, was fighting the choice I made Wednesday morning right before the horrific experience I had Wednesday night where I was almost taken down. So the moment on Wednesday morning where I committed on a level that I never have before to God, I committed to something that was outside of little Lori Ladd. And then I had one of the most horrific, scariest moments of my life. And it could have turned out really, really bad. And to say that I was uh, rebirthed and also shown some of the darkest energy and evilness on the planet would be an understatement. But that's exactly what happened the night that I committed to serving God on a level that I never have before. So if you want to talk about whether there's a spiritual battle going on the planet right now or not, there 100% is. And it's on a level that we cannot comprehend. And I am committed to reminding you of how to get through this. And if it means that I go through all of these horrendous, quite crazy experiences in order to do that, I will do it. But we need to understand what we're in. We need to understand the miracles that are coming. We need to understand that we have to get out of our own way. We need to understand that we need to ask for assistance right now from God, whatever you think God is. It doesn't even matter. You could call it, Susie. But we all need assistance right now in getting through what we are in. We will not be able to do this on our own. And when I say assistance, I don't mean galactic beings. I don't mean interdimensional beings, as beautiful as they may be, and if you've been in my community, I connect with them. I wrote a book with the Galactic Federation. But what we're in right now, you guys, And I pray that you never experience what I experienced. But what we're in right now is is such an advanced level of intricacy in terms of energies that you got to go straight to God. You got to ask God. You got to go straight there. And a lot of the reason why the Christ consciousness and Jesus energy is so intense and it's going to continue to rise on the planet is because for whatever reason, the energy of Jesus, which is also the Christed consciousness energy, is the most powerful energy that will help us get through what we are about to walk through on this planet. And to me, it's not so much about the religious context of what it's not about any sort of religion or religious context. It's about the power of connecting with this human that is also connected to what so many in the spiritual community call Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness. And when you actually start to understand what this means, one of the first things that you're going to have to surrender into is that you actually aren't in control. And if you've been in the new age community for a while, that's the last thing that you actually let go of is that you're not in control. Of course I am. Everything I need is inside of me. Of course it is. Soul's inside of you, God's inside of you, Christ consciousness is inside of you. Of course it is. But until you realize that you are not the one that's going to get you there, because the you that you think you are is being infiltrated and it will continue to be infiltrated, and you don't even realize that. So until we realize that we're not in charge and that we will not be able to necessarily get ourselves straight into soul and God, that we're going to have to need assistance from God, from something other than ourselves. We have to lean into something else. And you can feel soul inside of you. It's the most incredible thing. You can feel God inside of you. It's the most incredible thing. But there are other things inside of us right now that we don't realize that is taking over our ability to connect, truly, really deeply connect to the true essence of who we are. We need the big guns to come down and help us. We do. And it doesn't mean that you are not the most powerful, incredible creator being. It means you need help. You need the big guns to come down and help you. Clear my mind, God. Take this from me. You know, you rebuke things in the name of Jesus, and it's the most miraculous thing. I'm just going to share this one little thing for anybody that is feeling really, really heavy, heavy, heavy energies around them right now. Okay, if you are feeling um, heavier than you ever have, and when I say heavy, I mean something's not right. Okay, you've never been this sad, this depressed. You've never had this intense thoughts. You know who you are. Okay. Not all of us are experiencing this, but I'm speaking to those of you right now that are in a mini hell of sorts. I want you to remember a couple of things. One, it's not you. So what you're feeling and you're thinking to yourself, it doesn't quite feel like me. It's not you. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and take this with a grain of salt, but I can promise you that this can help. And this is going to sound cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I'm sharing it anyway. If you put on, do these two things, if you can. And it's a challenge for whatever reason. I was just talking to my girlfriend 2 nights ago. I'll share that story in a second, but told her the same thing, and she said, "I think my life has changed overnight." And I said, "Keep going, because it's gonna continue to change. Do these 2 things, 3 things maybe. 1, put gospel music on. Find a gospel song that you like. I don't argue with me about religion. I'm not talking religion. Just trust me. Put a gospel song on in your house, okay? And then sit. And if you say the name Jesus, I'm rebuking this in the name of Jesus. Whatever it is that you're experiencing, I'm rebuking this in the name of Jesus. If you say that, and trust me, I know there are thousands of you that do not want to do this, and I hear you. Try it. Because for whatever reason, when you say his name right now on this planet, okay, forget the stories around him. Forget the religious contexts. Try to let that go right now. When you just say his name and you say, I'm rebuking these thoughts in my mind in the name of Jesus. I'm rebuking these feelings in my body in the name of Jesus. As challenging as that may be for a lot of you, watch what happens. Try it. What do you have to lose? Right? It's already intense enough for you. What do you have to lose? I'm not telling you to become religious. I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I'm not telling you any of that. I'm just saying, hey, I'm going to share something that worked for me on one of the most horrific nights of my entire life, one of the most horrific weeks of my entire life. I felt darkness. To say that I was scared is an understatement. Okay? I have never in my life felt the type of evil that was in my house, that came to say hello, and that was probably in my body. And so for me to share with you what worked immediately, instantaneously, is just an offering and a suggestion. But if you do it and you just see what happens, I promise you, something, you'll feel it. For whatever reason, and I don't know what that reason is right now, but when you say that name, they scatter. And by the way, when you say God's name and you ask God to come down, the thoughts that are tormenting you, scatter. The uncomfortable, whatever is that's in your body, scatters. It runs. Because I'm gonna tell you, for a lot of you that are listening to this and resonating with this message right now, it's not trauma that you are experiencing. You don't need to heal it. You don't. And you don't need to fix it. It's an insane place that we're at on the planet right now, and also one of the most miraculous, incredible moments, because we're gonna start to realize the power of miracles. The power of miracles, and we have to first let go of feeling like we are the ones that are in control and that are gonna do it. And as soon as we can do that, there's these stages of the evolution. And until we stop trying to be the one in control and realize, it's like when you get really, really sick, right? Or you something happens to you and you have to now depend on other people. We hate that. Lots of us can't stand that. I do not want to depend on somebody else, right? No way. It's the most uncomfortable thing. Well, my friend, you're gonna find yourself, you know, needing to depend on God. And my friend, go straight to that. to whatever you think God is. Go straight there. I got on my knees. I got on my knees Thursday night. I couldn't sleep in my bedroom for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 nights. So, thank you, Keelan. Um, we're about to step into some of the most beautiful times that we'll ever have. We really are. And there's a lot of humanity that is gonna start to step into some of the most, challenging times of their entire life. And I just wanna remind you before we go that if you're listening to this message, that whatever you've gone through the last couple of years, especially 2024, God bless 2024. Just God bless it. Damn. Damn. Um, if you've had a rough go of it, I want you to remember something if you're listening to this, that w and I'm gonna share this in my Reset 2025 I'm doing for all of you in my Patreon community, but, um, to be able to really look at what you went through and what you're currently in, if it's challenging, and try to use the lens of, "What is it that I am being shown? What tools, what skills, what awareness have I been shown? What am I supposed to get from this?" Because you're designed to be able to help, turn around and help hundreds of millions of humans. Thank you, Valerie, so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it. You're designed to turn around and help millions of humans that are about to step into similar experiences that you've just been through. Okay? It's not for nothing that you have been going through what you have been going through. Isaac, thank you. The real deal. The real deal, Holyfield. There's no mistake that you have been in what you've been in. There's no mistake that it has been very, very difficult. There's no mistake that it has been more challenging than any other time in your life. It's not a mistake. Please hear this. It's not a mistake. The majority of humanity hasn't quite yet reached the places that you are in and are going through. And so once you start to recognize, oh my God, what is this? What am I being shown? What's the next gift? What is the opportunity? Let me get curious with all of this. It's not an accident. It's not a mistake, although it feels horrendous. Feels horrendous at times. It's gifting you with something that so that you can turn around and help the hundreds of millions of people that haven't even begun to open the door into what you're experiencing. And all of humanity has to walk through similar situations. It's an entire global, planetary, collective awakening. And so there are levels or phases. Let's not call it levels because then we think people are going to be like, well, I don't want to be better than you're not. It's phases. There's phases like, like levels, but let's just call levels like this, right? That you are going through, that humanity is going through. And your most challenging times are the greatest gifts for humanity. Truly, really is. Um, so I just want to leave you with the reminder of how courageous you are, and that if you really are feeling like this isn't you, it's not. It's not you. Pray, 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 pray. I'm going to start doing more prayer stuff because it's powerful right now and we're going to need it in the next coming years. Um, and I will keep talking about all the different levels of what we're experiencing and the lenses to use because it's complex even though it's simple. There's layers to it even though it's all one layer. Um, but I really want to speak to those that are really struggling, because I've yeah, it's try the gospel music if you're in that space. Just try it. Just see what happens. And just say, if it gets tough enough, if it gets rough enough, some of you will actually do it and say, I rebuke this in the name of Jesus and see what happens. It's so wild to me what's happening on the planet. It's so wild to me. I'm floored. I'm really, really floored. And I can't wait to keep going through this with you guys and walk step by step, hand in hand, arm in arm with you through this because we've just started and we're about to create miracles on this planet. We're about to step into and create miracles on this freaking planet. And your life is about to change. I promise you, your life is going to change. It's going to change. It's going to change in the greatest possible freaking way. It's coming. It is coming for so many of us, and, not so that we can stand up and say, "Yay, this is great," but so that you can turn around and help those that are gonna need your help. And it can just be a family friend, it can be a family member, it can be a stranger, but you're gonna start recognizing that your own hells are somebody else's heavens. Right? You're gonna be able to create heavens in others from your own hell that you experienced. And so how courageous are you? How incredible are you? Beyond what you can comprehend. You're an incredible gift to this planet. And um, so with that, I will leave you. For now, I will see you next Tuesday. Um, Wait, hold on a second. I think I might be traveling. Shoot, I am traveling next Tuesday. I might do it earlier in the morning. I'm going to Kenya for 2 months. So, we will be doing all our lives in Kenya, and, you'll be able to follow me along on my journeys. Please pass this along. Please, 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 please pass this video along to somebody that may need to hear it right now. Um, so much is changing. So much is changing. Wait until 1:11. Okay, I'll wait until 1:11. I'll wait until 10:11. You're welcome, Vicky. You're welcome, Ika Yoga. Mary Magdalene is a powerhouse. She is an absolute. Hi, South Africa. Hello, hello. Um, those who say prayer does not work probably have not tried it, or they just don't believe in it. If you guys want a song, I'll share you a song with you just so that let me put it in the chats. What do you call God? God. I never said what happened to you. I know, for a reason, Jessica. Oh, is it for a I'm just it's intense and I don't wanna share all of it right now. It's really, really and I wanna be careful how I share everything. Um, so hold on a second, you guys. I hope that I can still stay here. Okay, let me go and grab the song that I put on. Um, so this is my let me see if I can put it in here. This is the song I go to. Um, hmm, 1 second. Let's see if I can try this again. Um, Okay, so this is the song I use. This is the song I go to when I want to just clear out anything that may, any heaviness, if I just want to drop into more of a calm, peaceful state. Thank you, Katie. And also, if you are, and this is a specific message for those of you that literally feel like something's not right in this world right now, with in my own world, something's not right. That YouTube video I play, and something happens. Something happens. Try it. Thanks, Norway. Thanks, Anne, for being here. Um, Thanks, Ireland. Yeah, believing is the key to God. It is. You got to believe. And sometimes you'll be pummeled in order to believe. Sometimes you'll be taken literally to the depths of hell in order to understand that you cannot do this on your own. And that's what happened to me. That is what happened to me. I was taken to a place that I wish nobody ever goes to, in order for me to understand that there is darkness on this planet that not even I understood. And I don't have the guns to. I Why was I shown it? I don't know. I'll talk more about it, but we need a lot of assistance. We need a lot of assistance. The song is, yeah, the song, I don't know what the song is. I don't know what the name of the song is. Let me see. The name of the song is Too Good to Not Believe. Too Good to Not Believe. Brandon Lake and Bethel Music. Too Good to Not Believe. You're not alone, Mystic Denny's tribe. You are not alone. Too Good to Not Believe. Um, it's in the name. Too Good to Not Believe. Bethel Music, and Brendan Lake. Um, I pray for the knowledge of God's will in my life and the power to carry that out. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. I love you guys all so much. Thank you for being here. Go enjoy your day, your week, your month. Go enjoy the people that you're around. Love them even more. Listen to them more. Try not to, the moment you want to open your mouth and say something, maybe just listen. Maybe just listen in the next couple of days. Be of service in some capacity. Be of service to people somehow, some way. Love them up a little bit more. People need way more love right now, especially during the holidays, than they ever did. And call on whatever you think God is to you. Maybe it's universe, maybe it's source, maybe it's spirit. Um, and get on your knees if you're feeling it. If you're feeling it, get on your knees. I'm telling you, my friend, praying is it's magic right now. It's just as quantum is talking about all the other stuff going on in the world, and talking about the quantum field and all the fun stuff I love to chit chat about. Um, this is just as important. I love you. Be well. And I will see you guys. I don't know if I can do it next Tuesday. We'll see on my travels, but if you are not part of my Patreon community, we are in the process of moving it back over to, not back over, we're moving it over to the School of Remembrance. I'll be sharing about this more and more. It's a brand new community. We're moving everybody over in January. We're going to have a prayer circle in there. Uh, we're going to have a book club. There's live events. There's free meditations. Prayer circle is free. I'm really creating a brand new vibe and and energy, but I'll be sharing a lot of my trip to Kenya over there and what's going to come through. But may we all be of service to humanity right now in some capacity. I love you very much. Grateful for all of you just spending the time with me, and go give your love to somebody. Mwah.